Hey everyone, and welcome to a Motivation Monday podcast for October 9th, 2017. Thanks again for joining us. I hope you're enjoying these Monday podcasts, and I hope they get your week off to a great start. Try and send me some topics, some stuff that you're frustrated with, some stuff that you've been thinking about. And I also want to have some listeners of the podcast guest host this Monday morning show. So if you have an idea that you've been thinking about that you think might benefit some of the listeners, get in touch with me at 10minutejazzlesson@gmail.com and run the idea by me. And then, hopefully you can record a little bit of audio on your own. And I'm really open to your ideas. You guys are constantly hearing from me, but I think it would be really cool to hear from some people in the podcast community on some stuff that they're thinking about that they think could motivate others. So get in touch and let me know about that. So today I wanted to talk about one of the most distracting things in life and in the practice room. We relate everything back to the practice room here on the 10-Minute Jazz Lesson podcast. But I really truly think that this goes beyond the practice room and really sabotages a lot of the stuff that happens in your day-to-day life, and that is your smartphone. It's such a wonderful thing. I use it all the time for practicing, but I also think that it sabotages some of my practice time as well. So what I've been trying to do over the past couple of weeks is have some practice time where if I need to use the cell phone and I need to use iReal Pro or one of my ear training apps or something like that, I have no problem doing that. But I also try to have some time where the cell phone is in the other room so that I can get really, really deep into my practice routine without any chance of being distracted or interrupted by my phone, which is just a constant source of interruption for me. And, I'll pick up the phone to do something simple, and then I'll look up 10 minutes later and I've just wasted 10 minutes of my day by looking at Instagram or checking my email or something like that. I'm just as guilty of it as anybody else, but I've been making a concerted effort to not let the cell phone break me out of my deep cycles of thought that I need to be doing while I'm practicing. So that might be something to try this week. Use use your apps that you need to use when you're practicing. But then for some portion of the practice routine, if you're practicing exercises or scales or you're transcribing or something where you don't need the cell phone in the same room as you, go and put it in the other room. And here's another tip. Even while I do use the cell phone for certain things that I need, I put it on airplane mode so that I know no texts or calls or emails are going to come in, even though I'm on the phone. And if it's on airplane mode, you also really can't check any of your social media or any of those other time wasters that the cell phone is so famous for. Turn off your Wi-Fi, put it on airplane mode, and get deep into your practice routine. That deep thinking takes us so far, but it can be interrupted so easily by an incoming email. And then when you get your emails, you feel like you have to put a fire out sometimes, and sometimes you do. But most of the time, it's pretty inconsequential and could wait a couple of hours. If you've ever checked out Tim Ferriss's book, The 4 Hour Work Week, I checked it out because I thought that the title was just kind of too good to be true, right? I mean, how could you have a work week that only lasted 4 hours? And a lot of the book is really not centered around actually only working 4 hours a week. That's going to be impossible for about 99% of us. But he does have a lot of really, really awesome time saving advice. And there's, a couple of chapters dedicated to the inbox, which is such a huge time suck for so many people. And he says that. He says, 99% of the emails that you get don't need to be responded to within 10 minutes. So, our cell phone pushes these emails into our face immediately, and we suddenly feel this, okay, I have to drop everything I'm doing and get back to this person that just emailed me. When in reality, if you sat down twice a day, one time sometime in the morning or on your lunch break, and then one time in the evening, and batched all your emails, you could really get it all done without being constantly distracted throughout the entire day by emails and having your train of thought broken so many different times while you're trying to, get some deep work done. So, anyways, I know that was kind of a tangent, but try that this week. Try putting your cell phone on airplane mode, turning off the Wi-Fi, or even better, leave it plugged in next to your bed when you get up in the morning and you start practicing. Just leave it there and spend the first couple of hours of your day totally uninterrupted getting the stuff done outside of all the things that the smartphone presents to you. Now, again, I just want to reiterate, I know it's not possible for some of us. Some of you will have kids and you feel like you have to have that cell phone by you in case anything happens, right? But you can start to introduce this to your life even if you need to have the cell phone tied to you. You know, if you get a notification and it's not something totally urgent or from a family member or something like that, just ignore it. Just ignore it and get back to what you were doing. And I think that it'll really pay off, particularly in your practicing, because if you can get into that deep mode of thought, you can get so much done in such a short period of time when you're not being distracted. All right? Let me know if you have success with this or if this is something that you struggle with. And I could even do another episode on it because I'm going to try to get really, really deep into this and try to be as undistracted as humanly possible in the next couple of months here. I'm really pushing to get a lot done with my practice time and my music. All right, we'll see you guys on Friday with the regular episode. Have an awesome and inspired week, and we'll talk to you soon.